Hi guys, and welcome back again. Today's discussion, what we're going to do is we're actually going to touch on the topic on haunted decks. Many of you have seen a haunted deck performance out there on YouTube, and then I get a lot of messages saying that I want to buy loops, okay, to perform the haunted deck. Now, I'm here to show you that loops is not the only way to do it, and there are actually 3 ways to do it. In which we call, I'm going to just use key terms here because I don't want to give too much information out, okay? So the first way is what we call the Masika method, okay? The second, of course these are my own terms, okay? So Masika method, the second method is the elastic method, and it's quite closely linked to this method called the Kundalini rising effect, okay? And then we've got the IT method. So there are 3 of them, and I'll actually go through the pros and cons, and I'll show it to you the differences in the performance, okay? So let's get down to the table, and what we're going to use today is actually the White Aladdin deck. So the White Aladdin deck is really cool. I'm going to show it to you. It's pretty much similar to the Aladdin deck, okay? The cards are all similar, and that includes the Joker card here. The main difference is actually in the back, okay? You can see the back here, it's all white, and that's the difference between this White Aladdin deck and so on, so forth. So let's get down now, and I'm going to show you actually the differences in using the 3 methods of the haunted deck. So for the first method, I would like to show you the most common method of how we can perform the haunted deck. And this method is really old, but it has been used by many magicians over the years, and it is also one of the most versatile methods, okay? It's what we call the IT method. So it's one of the most versatile because you can perform the haunted deck with this, and you can perform a lot of other effects with this. Card rising effects, you can make things float around you. And this therefore is what I would consider a really versatile method. So you ask them to spread the cards out, they take it out, after which they can have a look at the card, okay? So everything down here is same. In fact, the haunted deck method is very simple. A selected card, okay, chosen at random, and after that what you can do is you can actually ask them at any point of time to say stop anywhere. So they stop here, supposing here. Okay, all you need to do is for them to take the card and put it in. Okay, they can say stop anywhere, and you just put the card in. Now, the second thing about this haunted deck method is that most of the Masika and the elastic method, your hands actually have to be quite close to the deck to perform the haunted deck. This one, you can be close, okay, or you can be far. Okay, so you can be close to, if you want to perform the haunted deck, you can just do this way, and one card comes out, and that's the haunted deck method using the IT method. Your hands can be close, your hands can be far, it can be even out of view, okay? You can even be standing this way with your hands far away, 30 cm away, and it will work. And in fact, there have been many methods where the haunted deck has been performed using this method. It's by Masika too, but it's in his effect called the Spider-Pan Pro, and he was standing really far away. He was actually standing up. If you're about 1.7 meters tall, this method still works, okay? So the idea here is basically that your hands can be close, okay, or your hands can be far. So the selected card goes into the middle of the deck. It can be any card at all. So, and there's a lot of flexibility, like I said, okay? You can just spread the deck, they can just choose any card. It's easy to perform, and so what they do is with this card, okay, they just take it and they put it in anywhere. So let's say just put it in somewhere here, okay. They place it down, and then you go with your hands. This time, like, let's try far, okay. You can see that with your magical powers, one of the card actually comes out, and that is their selected card, okay. So this is how we perform using the IT method. Alright, so the next one we are going to cover is the Masika and elastic method. Now, if you actually watched this particular effect done in Spider-Pen Pro by Masika himself, he actually used the IT method, okay, it's a modification of that, and he actually stood about, you know, I don't know how tall he is, but, you know, human height, length, okay, and he was able to do the ghost deck that way, and that's the flexibility of the IT. But if we talk about elastic and the Masika method, your hands have to be relatively close to the deck which you're performing the haunted deck to. Now, all three methods allow you to actually borrow a deck and just do it, so that's the good thing about it. But the elastic and Masika method have their own limitations. So let's just go to see how they look like. I will only be performing once for the elastic and the Masika method because they are pretty similar, okay? The main difference is that in the elastic, you can actually perform the other effect, which is called the Kundalini rising, which is also the card rising effect. You put a card in the center of the deck and it comes out. Okay, so there's a bit more flexibility than just the Masika method itself. What you have to do, first of all, you let them choose a card. They have a look at their card. After which, you will actually hold the deck, and then you riffle down. Okay, you can riffle down and ask them to say stop anywhere. So supposing they say stop here, what you're going to do next is you're going to take this card and you're going to put it in. In fact, you allow them to put it in themselves. Okay, now from here, the other limitation is that as long as you're using Masika or elastic, you want the card, no, more to Masika, okay? You want the card to be at around the top half, okay? I do not want to expose why, but you want it to be around top half. Elastic method, you can go slightly lower, but it is a risk that you're gonna take, okay? The next thing is that your hands have to be pretty close around this, okay? And then you start to perform, which is using the Masika or the elastic method. Okay, so in terms of which method you want, each method has its pros and cons. The Masika method itself, the things have been prepared very nicely for you. So all you need to do is just kind of like, it's just like putting on your shirt and you can perform the thing, okay? Whereas for the elastic thread, let me just show it to you. The elastic one, there are a few kinds, okay? There's a Masika kind, this is another kind, and then we've got an infinity kind. So each of them have their own pros and cons, but the thing is that it comes in like a long thing, okay? So you have to actually make this, okay, without too much exposure, let me put it this way. The Masika is like giving you a shirt, you wear it on, you can perform, okay? For the elastic and the IT method, you are actually given the thing to make the shirt, and then you put on the shirt and then you can perform. Something like that. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I actually made this because quite a few magicians, when I told them, hey, you want to make the haunted deck effect, they said yes, and I said, why don't you go for the IT method? And they're like, I do not know how the IT method looks like. They also do not know how the elastic method looks like. So I actually want to go through the differences and you can see how they look like in the ghost deck. Okay, pretty nice, and it's a really nice effect to perform. Okay, that's haunted deck for you. Thank you.